Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to Maths time today. We're going to continue with our shapes. So, we've got our first bit of learning here. Hannah made a figure using pattern blocks. So this over here, this section, is called a figure. So Hannah made a figure using pattern blocks. I can see them all laid out here for her, and she's made this. What shapes can you notice? What are their properties? So this is a bit of a revision session. We've got one of these for you to use at home so that you can try and remember what are the names of these shapes, sides, vertices, and symmetry. So let's see if we know any. Our first one is a triangle, a purple triangle. It has 3 sides. It has 3 vertices. Does it have a line of symmetry? I wonder, could we fold that shape so it was exactly in half? Well, I think we could with a triangle. We can fold a triangle exactly in half if it's made out of paper. So yes. Let's move on to the next one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it's a really good clue because it's got the x phoneme in it. In 6, I know it's a hexagon. So hexagon, number of sides 6, number of vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does it have symmetry? Yes, it is a regular shape, which means it does have symmetry. All 6 sides are the same length, all 6 vertices are the same, and it must be symmetrical. This next one, I wonder if we know the name of this shape. It looks like a square that's been blown over in the wind. It's actually called a rhombus. Number of sides, 4. Number of vertices, 4. Does it have a line of symmetry? This is a tricky one. I wonder if you can work that out yourself. Maybe you want to see if you could draw a rhombus, or ask mum or dad to draw a rhombus and see if you can fold it. See if you can find a line of symmetry. So I'm going to leave that one for you to explore. And our last shape is a square. Number of sides 4, number of vertices 4. Does it have a line of symmetry? Yes, we all know from our fractions work that we can fold squares perfectly in half. Okay, so let's get back to our first figure. I've got it up here on the screen, and what you might want to do is ask mum or dad to print something like this out, or to draw you something that looks like this so that you can figure out today by folding. That's what I'm doing here at home. I've made some of these shapes out of paper to try and fold them myself. So is our shape symmetrical? Yes or no? How do you know? How did you prove it? Well, I think I'm going to use my line. I'm going to start up here and come straight down there. And now if I had folded that shape, I can see that both parts would be exactly the same. And as we know from our fractions, if 2 parts are equal and the same, then that's great. That means we have 2 halves, or we have symmetrical parts. Let's just go over how we can prove that. If we can show half of a shape, it must be symmetrical. Okay, let's have a look at some of these shapes. You might want to pause it and see if you can imagine or pretend with your hand or your finger where a line of symmetry might be on these shapes. I want to know, are they symmetrical? So I'm going to get my line drawer out. I've got these helpful triangles on this kind of paper to help me go in the middle, make sure. So this shape made up of 3 triangles. One is a different colour, but we're not going to worry about the colour today. We are going to just worry about if they are the same size, if they are folded on top of each other. So yes, I can say this first shape is symmetrical. 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 Let's have a look at this shape. And this time, when I draw my line, I could choose to start at different places. I could start here at the top vertex of the triangle. I could start down here, or I could start down here, because a triangle like this, drawn like this, is the same every way you turn it. I'm going to try and draw my line of symmetry here. So there we go. Now if I folded that over on this line, I can see that this too would be symmetrical. So right here. Now let's figure out this one. Where do I need my line of symmetry to be? Well, I need it to go along this line down here. That is going to show me a line of symmetry. If I folded them on top of each other, they would be exactly the same. Okay. Journaling time. We have a question now at the bottom of Hannah's, underneath Hannah's figure. It says, does the figure have a line of symmetry? Make other figures that have lines of symmetry using the pattern blocks. Well, I'm going to show you about that in just a moment, but first of all, I wonder if you can answer Hannah's question. Does the figure have a line of symmetry? Remember, when you're answering things, just saying yes or no is fine, but you need to have an explanation. Why do you know yes or no? Okay, so reflection. Now in class, we would be getting out all of the little pattern blocks, but maybe you don't have them at home. Maybe you do, I'm not sure. I luckily do have some at home for my my children, so I've tried to make some shapes myself, and I'm going to find out if they are symmetrical. So let's move the laptop and see if you can see my shapes. So I found some little wooden pattern blocks and I've made this shape here. Now, if I draw my line of symmetry up this way, I can see that this vertex here would end up over here, so that wouldn't be symmetrical this way. However, if I draw my line of symmetry this way, if I now folded it, this rhombus here would fit perfectly onto that rhombus at the bottom, and that would make a symmetrical shape. This one down here, again, can I fold it? Well, I cannot fold it along a vertical line of symmetry here because this vertex is pointing out here, this vertex out the other side, so that wouldn't work. Would it work if I folded it horizontally? Again, my vertex or my vertices are pointing the opposite directions, so that wouldn't work for that one. My final shape I've made up with a hexagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides and 3 squares. Now I could fold this one much like a triangle, fold it along here or along here or along here. So this shape is symmetrical. Now, if you have any shapes like that at home, it'd be really good to have a bit of practice now to get them out, to make some figures and to ask and discuss with anyone you've got at home if they are symmetrical or not. Okay, I'm going to go back onto my shared screen. Where are we? There it is. Okay. Guided practice then. Which figures have a line of symmetry? Oh, you can pause it and have a think. I'm going to draw them straight in so that you can see if you are right. Here's our line of symmetry on figure A. Figure B, do they look the same? No. Do they look the same? No, I don't think this one is symmetrical. We could say it's non-symmetrical. C has a line of symmetry. D has a line of symmetry. And E is the same as D, but just on its side. So this again has a line of symmetry. Which figures have a line of symmetry? A, oops, 1A, C, D, and E have a line of symmetry. They are, oops, they are symmetrical. There we go. Okay, moving down then. Draw a line of symmetry for each figure. Again, pause it if you want to, or just watch straight on. I've got a line of symmetry going down here for this figure. I've got a line of symmetry straight up the middle for this figure. And this figure has one going through horizontally. And this one has a line going through vertically. So you could have drawn either of those lines. What shapes are used to make each figure? This one has a square and a triangle. We have a rectangle, a trapezium in the middle, and a rectangle. Or was that 2 squares? And this one is made up of 4 squares linked together. How about our blue shape down here? It is made up from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles. Does it have a line of symmetry? Well, if I start right in the middle over here, this one does have a line of symmetry because we could fold it across that line to see. Okay, your independent learning today looks like this, and we want you to look at the shapes and circle the shapes that are symmetrical. Now, if I was at home, I would be thinking, do I have a printer? And if I do, I might want to print out 2 of these pages so that I can fold some of the shapes, cut out and fold the shapes to help me find the symmetry or not. The other thing I could do is I could find a mirror. A small mirror is really good, such as a small makeup mirror that somebody in your house might own. Now, if you put this small makeup mirror where you think there is a line of symmetry, so if I take this one for example, if I were to put a mirror along that line, I should see exactly what I can see this side in the mirror as well. And that will tell you that it is symmetrical. If what you can see in the mirror looks like what you can see in the picture, then it's symmetrical. Okay, so we'd like you to have a look at those. Circle the shapes that are symmetrical, and on the following page, this time we would like you to draw a line of symmetry for each shape below. Again, it might be really helpful for you to print out a second page of these, cut them out and fold them if you need that extra support. You might be able to just see the line of symmetry or find it with a mirror. Okay, good luck everybody, and happy shape investigating.